What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are not too tired if you stayed up watching some debate action last night. And then, of course, early this morning, we got CPI. So a lot to unpack, a lot to go through. But after everything, let's go to some of those reactions, I guess, from SPY. Obviously, we could go to futures and look at during the debate, and DJT got clobbered a little bit this morning. Some of the Harris stocks are up a little bit, but here's our reaction from at least this morning with the SPY coming down. Yeah, our boy ALB somehow making some news today. Okay, all right, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, but we do have SPY. So SPY is the core came in with a slight miss, came in slight hot. And then the overall CPI didn't look too bad, but still within the range. So initial selling, at least for now, it does seem like the buy the dippers are still in the market. It looks like the bulls are still strong. Pretty strong day yesterday, although the market is filled with a bunch of scammers. And we tried what did we try? SMCI and then AMD, and then we ended the day with a loss on two correct moves. So they both would have clobbered targets, but wanted to be a little frustrating first. So be it. Sometimes that's the market. It happens. But we got SPY showing that we are continuing to try to rally today. So far, at least getting bought up off of the news from yesterday, or from well, both the rally and then today's CPI as well. So let's go back to the daily real quick. And where's our support? Where's our targets? I think we do have support somewhere around 548.56. Looks like we did pull back a little bit into that zone, and then right now at least above that. So watch 548.56 to the higher side. I have a few levels. This one would be interesting. This would be 550.53. I think is our next kind of high. Probably have an interesting one before that too. So there's a couple of resistance in here. I'm going back a little bit further than I want to for these resistance. The next real one is that would take us to 551.52. So that's the next real one. But before that, I do have this 20 EMA, so I'm looking for some stuff that might also kind of keep us down below that point as well. I think the most interesting one is probably about 550.53. With that zone, though, you're still inside this big kind of sell-off candle from Friday. However, we would be above the opening price of that candle. So to me, the fact that we could even get to that point is leaning us a little bit more, unless it's just going to be some kind of a wick and then another just we close below that. But that would give me a little bit more, I think, bullish sentiment getting above the opening price of this candle, even though we have not broken out of the high of it yet. And then the other level that I was looking for that would get us pretty much into this 549.64 zone. That might, again, I don't love these ones because we've already been through these multiple times. So I don't think they're that strong, but they are there. And then that would take us into pretty much the opening price of that candle. So I want to lean bullish. I do. Maybe just inside day from yesterday. If this is where we open, we get that small pullback, hold that 548.58, and then look to maybe bounce from there. But still a little choppy. I think we still get a little bit of chop. I'd probably want to lean a little bit more bullish than bearish today, and then just expecting, unfortunately, maybe a little chaparoo. We got the Qs. Qs also gapping up pretty decent. This is a retest gap right into that 100 EMA on the daily. So that's going to be a little bit of resistance. And then I do have resistance somewhere around 460.47, probably a little bit lower, 460.30, something like that. Right into that 100, also a decent level of resistance. The one up from there is not too far away as well. That will take us to 461.58. I think that's a strong one. Probably a strong level, but that is also getting us above that 100. So we'll see if we could close above the 100, even if it's just right into that kind of resistance. And then I think we got PPI tomorrow coming out too. So Still some more news events, more data coming out that can potentially move the markets, and we'll see if they'll see if the bulls just want to remain persistent. We'll see. Leonard says, "What a poop show last night." Yeah, that was a little crazy, little crazy. I don't. I mean, I don't think it was a good look for Trumpy. I don't think Trumpy had the best night possible. There was also some fact checking live from some moderators that were not equally shared. And I don't know, but either way, if especially if you're not into politics and that was the only debate you're watching, I think Harris probably had a better night than Trump. So we'll see how it plays out. And then since we're talking about Trumpy, we'll go to DJT. That one was gapping down a little bit, and that's still kind of it tried to run back a little bit pre-market, but not really holding. Not a great gap for DJT into maybe a little bit of support. Uh, but honestly, at this price, DJT I think probably heads a little bit lower. We'll see, and maybe that pre-market move, which looks like it was trying to run back. Yeah, so we got back up to like 1683 and continued to drop. So I think DJT probably comes down a little bit lower. Doesn't look like there's much support there. Maybe some people trapped. Obviously, some people that were kind of bullish on Trump running into the debate. Uh, I don't think they were really probably even holding for a long-term investment because that wouldn't make too much sense on this particular stock, but we'll see. All right. ALB is the first one I see. We have a lot of clean energy stocks that are moving. They would be probably a little bit more pro Harris type stocks. So different correlation from DJT, but I don't think ALB is one of those. This is lithium. I think I think China had some news that they're looking to cut supply, which we're in this one. We're in it for the 10K challenge. We've been in this one. So there's a nice little gap up for us. I do still have the extra 100 shares that I was assigned at, I think 83. I do have a covered call on that one at 90. So see if we can get called away on that one for anybody following kind of that play. Uh, I kind of do want to be pulled out, so this way we could sell some more puts. So I'm hoping this one goes up higher from here. But nice little gap on this one. Pretty decent move. I think it was up to 90 at some point today. I don't know if it got any higher than that. Let's see. 5 minutes. Looks like the high of this one was about 92.54. Let's see where that lands on the chart. 92. We actually did already break this 90.34. And we were higher than the 91.80. So not bad on that one. Again, there's a lot of selling pressure coming in. We do have some positive news in the lithium space, at least. We have a lot of volume on this candle from, I believe this is on Friday as well. So the fact that we're above that, we do have a little bit of a retest. See if this one does want to pull back a little bit. If you're going to try to day trade it, you are into a little bit of resistance at open. But again, good news on it. I think if you get it somewhere around 85.07, that's probably going to be your support if you're trying to day trade it. And then resistance would take us to 90.16, but we did see we broke to that once already. So and then next target up from there would be about today probably about the 92 range. Otherwise 93.66 would be a strong close. So we'll see if we get some more continued momentum, but really good gap on that one for today so far. We got Roku. Leonard said Harris debate earpiece. Somebody was texting me that, and then I was like, yeah, I'll have to look, and then I immediately forgot to look. So I don't know. I have attention span of a cat. Speaking of cats, no, just kidding. We're not going there. We're not going there. We got Roku. Roku. That's a good gap up. Is that news? This came out yesterday. I don't see any news on it. No upgrades, nothing like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any news unless something happened this morning that's not on TradingView quite yet. But decent little gap there. Again, you're right into big resistance, 69.03. I think you probably have a good opportunity to maybe try a fade. I don't know if I want to go that direction, but if you're trying to go short, you're waiting at least for 69.31. If you're extra patient, probably $70, and then you could probably throw a stop somewhere around 71.15. That's if you want to go short, try to play a retest. This is a gap and go though. It looks like we do have a decent little pennant pattern on the daily. Nice kind of breakout candle from here. We pretty much maintain that candle all the way on this retest. I kind of want to lean more bullish on Roku than I do bearish. I'm not loving the resistance right above us, but we'll get Roku up higher. And again, I don't see any news on why the gap is. Dave and Buster's and Marvell looked interesting, at least pre-market too. So we'll take a look at those before we jump off today as well. But nice little push on that one. It is definitely not at all-time highs. They've been beaten up continuously, so that resistance might be a really good one. I don't know if there's that many people extremely bullish on Roku. I still really can't figure out Roku, to be honest, in terms of like why people need Roku. I don't know, but that's just me. Just me. All right, we got N phase. Probably going extremely high on my list. Depends on where this one opens, though. Right now, I like it a lot in terms of nice gap plus range. So the next target on this one is probably 113. That gives us about $4 to the high side. Maybe a little bit of a retest from yesterday. But I think this candle is going to be much more significant, and we're opening right at the high end of it. So right above kind of that last little resistance. As long as this one holds above 108.80, I think I'd still want to lean bullish. Anything below that one, I think we start getting a little bit more of a fade, and that fade might land us into like 107.30. So we'll watch this one at open, but it does have some room on it. Not bad. Not bad. We got run, RUN. Run. Something I should do more of. All right, we got good gap there again. Same thing on this one. Little tiny resistance at $18.42. The next one up takes us to 1856. Again, clean energy looks good today. I don't mind this gap with that resistance. I think I kind of like N phase a little bit better, but decent. I'd probably have more. I'd probably be a little bit more okay just waiting for a pullback on this one. But not bad. Not bad at all. Spots, SPOT, N phase, I think has just a little more room on it. Spotify. We can probably look at First Solar too. That's usually a runner as well. Spotify, decent gap up. First resistance is going to take us to about 330.42. If we could break through that, I think we have a pretty decent trade that would take us up to 334. And then we got that 20 EMA might get in the way of our trade, 332.23. So a little bit of room. This one, I think I would be okay waiting for some kind of a pullback. Probably trying to get it as close as possible to 327.80. We'll get that one higher on the list, though. If we can get a decent pullback, I'd be okay with it. Be okay with the try on it. We got play. Yep. We'll see if the gap still looks decent. Yep. So the gap still looks decent. Targets on this one, I think, could take us up to 35.52. So with this gap already, and before it opened, we were a lot closer. So we were already still kind of running. But they did have earnings, so this would be an earnings play. They beat by earnings per share. They still missed on revenue by 3.54, but an absolutely low bar this one had coming into earnings. Otherwise, really good gap. I like the fact we're breaking through this pivot. We're breaking through all sorts of resistance. This one also has a 9.5% short float, I believe. Somebody fact check that. But I believe it's a 9.5, pretty close to it, 9.4, something like that, short float. So this one does have the ability. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a mini inside candle, 9, 10, 11 days in a row, essentially, of selling. You did close a bunch of candles below this last little pivot. So we are probably trapping some of those bulls. Longer term picture, obviously there's still a lot of bulls, a lot of bears profitable on this trade. So we're not crushing too many until we start really breaking this 35, probably 35.50 zone, 35.56. So that would be my target for today in a bullish direction. And again, if we can make the risk to reward on it, I think it would be good. Otherwise, it might have to go without me, unfortunately. But maybe we get a pullback pre-market closer to the bell into some of that support. GameStop, they also reported earnings. They beat by 9 cents earnings per share somehow. Somehow. I don't know. I don't know how. But somehow they did. Still, with that said, they did lose 97 million. Not actually horrible earnings for GameStop. But I think they did another share offering and then they continuously just put out more shares into the market and just dilute everybody. So a little bit of weakness on this one. Technically, the retest gap from yesterday. I think this one probably comes lower. Look for maybe a retest into this $20.31 range. We might have already hit that. Where did we get down to? $20.31 to the penny. All right. So we already hit that retest. Maybe a small pullback high wave and then look for almost a retest play on this one. If we got the memers out today, we'll see. But never really a good sign when the company is diluting. And just nobody likes to see that. We'll see what happens. SEDG. SEDG. It's another one that was kind of falling off a cliff. What is, I don't know, off the top of my head, no clue what the short float is on this one. Mm, oh, okay. Only 33%. Yikes. 33%. Uh, Question is who's really being trapped if you're a bear? The last few days, the last one day, maybe. Let's go to a weekly charts. Even if you, so maybe people that start shorting this week on SEDG might be trapped. Otherwise, if you've started shorting anytime after June 2017, you're probably still profitable. So this I don't know. This one probably fades lower. I don't. At least worst case, I think we probably if you're trying to go long, I'd see if you get 1808. 1808. Resistance on this one would take us to about $20.01. You do have that good short float in there, 33%. I just don't know that all 33% really piled in this week. So I think this one might be a little bit tougher. Probably would rather try Enphase. Let's get this one higher. And then let's also take a look at First Solar because that one does make some decent moves. FSLR. Let's also check this one out here. Finviz. FSLR. I don't know if they have as big of a short float. Yeah, they got a 4% short float, so not as crazy. And this gap does look a little bit better. You're kind of opening into a little bit of resistance. Slightly under it at this point, so we'd have to break through that. Got a couple moving averages. Target for the day, extended target's probably about 225.29. I think if this one pulls back to like 215.80, I think that's a decent attempt. Maybe come a little bit lower, 215. So let's push this one a little bit higher on the list too, just in case. All right, we got NVDA. NVDA. Mm. I think we have Jensen Wong speaking today. I don't know what time though. I'm not sure what time he's speaking, or maybe he's speaking now. But this one is gapping up, so a little bit different than the rest of the market. Again, we're still looking. We're still looking at this 110.58 zone, 110.51. That could be some kind of resistance, but Jensen Wong is speaking today, I think. Peter says every green stock get a pump today after Trump powers yesterday. Yes. Yep. I think they are very closely related to the debate. But yep, any clean energy getting some kind of a decent pump. Again, this is the zone I'm watching for. This 110 51. If we can start breaking above that, we have a wide open field up to 114, 115. So a good range on NVIDIA. We are opening above the 100. I think I'd want to see at least a high wave candle, but I would continue to play this one bullish. Nice double bottom long term. AMD was the other one that we were looking at yesterday. We traded, and I wasn't wrong. The market was wrong. So this is how we tried to play it. Our target would have been all the way down here. Of course, they never would have stopped us on that original stop either. So I don't know. I don't think I was too aggressive. But good retest, good place. We got just stopped out, and then for not a full R, then just ran to target plus more. But otherwise, good gap up here. Again, starting to run into a little resistance, so I don't like it as much as I did yesterday. This is more of a retest gap. If this one comes up higher, 146.45, or even better, would be 146.78. I think at that point, I'd probably be looking to maybe take a fade. I think that's where probably some people would place their targets. So, Georgia says it's already at 110 pre-market. NVDA, I'm guessing. I have it at 109.47. So yeah, you got a little bit more range to the 110.51. So about a dollar more until we actually hit the resistance. Yeah, don't mess with me like that. So I was like, nah. Did they just jump up while I switched over to AMD? That's crazy. Matthew says, seems like the market like CPI now and pre-market a lot gapping up. The first reaction was no, they did not. No. First reaction from CPI was actually a bearish play. But the bulls don't care. The bulls just don't care. So it's just not more of like, hey, market likes it. It's just that nobody cares. That's all. Different feeling. Tesla, TSLA. Uh it's yeah, with CPI, the core was a little bit hot. You were expecting probably a pretty good. I think the bar was set kind of high on the CPI. But especially knowing that a lot of the energy stocks, oil pricing has all kind of come down. So we'll see what happens, but the core was still a little bit hot. So I think that's kind of what the algos were programmed for, and you had that initial sell reaction, but bull still kind of relentless. Tech is the first one to kind of rally today, so I think anything tech related probably the field you might want to stick into, and then clean energy would be good, except some of them kind of ran already, but we'll see. Tesla, I think I do have still targets to 229. We'll see what happens on this one. I still have some calls. I did not get out yesterday. But retest on this one will take us to about 223.45-ish, 223.31. Inside day from yesterday, I would be looking for a continuation. I think bullish is still the direction you want to lean on Tesla. And then again, clean energy stocks are good. Guess who's clean energy? Mr. Musk. Mr. Musk still looking good. So I'd probably lean bullish on this one too. Maybe not out of the gate. I'd give it a couple minutes. Maybe we get that initial drop and then just don't care like the rest of the bulls and just buy everything up. Makes sense. Easy enough play. Williams Sonoma. Uh Decent gap up. They got an upgrade to 156. That's a pretty decent upgrade. That's pretty decent. We are opening into a little resistance. It is a gap and go from yesterday. That yesterday's candle was inside. I think we get a little pullback. See if you can buy this one closer to 133.57. I'm going to throw this one a lot higher on the list. Maybe not for really early morning trade out of the gate, but I think for a swing trade, that one could actually be setting up for a decent one. Nice little bounce off that 200 EMA. Good gap. I think you'd want to get filled probably somewhere around, I'll call it 133.50, and then stops, I think, would be decent around 127 on this one. We'll see. CPI was 8:30 a.m. today. Yep. Unless you're asking about the next one, you have to wait 1 month. One more month. Mm-hmm. Yep. Lucy says CPI month over month, year over year were flat. So you made some difference in the reaction. Yeah, but I think because when they have the CPI, they also have like the core CPI and they have a couple breakdowns within it. The core one, it wasn't too far off. I think it was like a point 0.3 compared to a point 0.2 or something like that. But it wasn't too far off where I think the markets really start going, okay, panic time. But it would be something I would watch for the next CPI for sure. BBY. Best Buy still trying to pretend they're a company. They're still trying to pretend Amazon does not exist. But yeah, Best Buy. No, to be fair, I do like Best Buy. I like to go in, try out all the new cool stuff, and then go and buy it on Amazon. That's what I like to do. This one, it's still a really good gap up from earnings. So don't discount that one. But for right now, at today's open, it does look like we probably come a little bit lower. Still inside day though. Look for resistance somewhere around 96.43. If we could get above it, then okay, maybe we could get bought up. How many times you see companies gap up massively, you pull back slightly under that candle, and then you start to rally. So the earnings were really good on Best Buy, even though I don't purchase from them. They're never gonna let me back in the stores now. I hope they don't listen to me. The Best Buy CEO is like, DJ, not allowed in. Uh, HSY. Hershey 202. This one's already kind of run a lot from that good double bottom at the lows. We're opening essentially pretty flat on this one. You did have a bullish retest gap yesterday. Still a very good location as far as where we're opening, as long as we're staying above 202.15. Targets on this one, we might have hit that first target at least, or got close to it, 206.18. So maybe that one could break, and then longer term, I'd be looking for maybe like 207.58 on this one. Otherwise, not the best opening, at least for where it's at now. See if you get a pullback and look to see if this one wants to pull back, look for like 201.03. Would be at least a better spot to try. All right, let's see. That's it. That's all we got. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Starbucks, I missed though. Hold on, Starbucks, real quick. We'll take a look. That is a retest gap. So see if you want to, if you do want to play it, see if you can get a fade probably into like 93.21. Otherwise, everybody out of YouTube land, you guys are awesome. Unfortunately, that bell means I got to disconnect. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe.